Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्. Okay, so we finished verse 5 of chapter 5 last time. So what I'm going to do is just a little bit summarize so we have a context where we are. So we saw that how the 5th chapter began with the question, Arjun's question, then what is better for me, karma yoga or karma sannyas? And then Krishna Bhagavan developed this topic slowly and steadily. But in 2nd chapter, Bhagavan had said that our goal is to gain enlightenment. You know, that sthita prajna avastha and all that. So, and in order to do that, Krishna Bhagavan gave the path of karma yoga because he said that will lead to dhyana, meditation, and abidance in the self. So that was the whole path. But he also talked about, you know, in 4th chapter, 3rd chapter was all karma yoga, more details of it. In 4th chapter, he talked about some extra sadhana to gain that purity of mind. And then he also talked about knowledge. And then, but he also mentioned that how before gaining knowledge, we have to develop vairagya, you know, at the mental level. So in order to gain that knowledge, we have to give up all attachments to many actions, basically. That's what it was. And focus our attention on gaining that knowledge. And that is called, you know, karma sannyas, basically. Drop all the useless activities or, you know, the people, there is a marg of pravrutti and nivrutti also. Some people drop all these activities, go in the jungle, but even if you are a householder, we have to drop useless activities so that we have more time for knowledge. And they automatically kind of drop. So from that perspective. And then focus more on shravanam, madanam, nididhyasan and all that. And then... And then another point is that if we, even worldly perspective, we look at it, learning and activities don't go together. So, you know, in order to learn, we have to focus our attention. We have to give up the activity, at least temporarily, you know. And so, and then that's why in that context, Bhagwan mentions karma sannyas. So when you approach the teacher, and after listening to the gyan, we get this enlightenment. So now Arjun ko laga ki bhai, you know, why not just go directly, drop everything? Because his karma at that time was not a very good one, you know, fighting the war and all. So why don't I just go directly? So, and Arjun also asked that, hey, Krishna Bhagavan, tell me what is good for me, you know. And then what Krishna Bhagavan is telling that, hey, that this path is twofold, but it leads to the same goal, but it goes in some order, okay? So he's recommending that first you go to karma yoga, and then it will lead to karma sannyasa. So that's how Krishna Bhagavan, when he said what is good for me and all that. Because Krishna Bhagavan considered Arjun at a more elementary level. I may think that, you know, I have reached some stage, but like Anilji was saying, a doctor can diagnose, you know, instead of me self-diagnosing, some person who is, you know, has a better knowledge can see, hey, this is where you are. So Bhagavan felt that Arjun need to start at elementary level. That's why he needs to follow karma yoga first. And then, and he also, there is a word that between the two, karma yoga vishishyate means that is better for you. You know, that's why it is very important. It's not that it cannot be done, but better for you. But the main point he's mentioned that you have to be well established in it. because if you're not well established, then it's not going to happen. And then the other point he also mentioned that, hey, if you're not fit yet for karma sannyas, and if you drop the activities prematurely, you will get distracted, and not benefit from the sadhana. So a lot of wasted time. So that's what we have to remember. And then another point is that for Rajasic people, path of karma yoga is better because we have a lot of energy and a lot of desires, not so much control over of our mind yet. And this is a known fact that when you have a lot of desires and a lot of ambition and all that, that motivates you to do more and more action. And and there are less desires, less ambition, then person becomes more contemplative. In the world we know that, if I have many desires, I'll be forced to do a lot of action. So Rajoguna is there in most of the people. So it's saying when you have Rajoguna, then you have to exhaust that energy in the right action. And through that, you purify your mind. So, and what is a good yogi or a sannyasi, karma yogi, that who is free from all attachment and craving. So by going on that path, that's what you will slowly start gaining, is less cravings and less attachments and all that. And जो संन्यास का मार्ग लेते हैं वो ऑलरेडी उनमें वो कई गुण होते हैं, राइट? बट एंड में कर्म योगी भी उसका मेंटल मेकअप वो सन्यासी जैसा ही हो जाता है. That's the point he's trying to say. So now in sixth verse, why he gives another reason why we should follow karma yoga. Because, he's giving various reasons. And so that's what sixth verse is going to explain. Some more points. So let's go to verse 6. Sannyaasastu mahabaho dukkhamaptuma yogatah yoga yukto munir brahma nachirenadhigacchati. Sannyasah, renunciation. Tu is but mahabaho, O mighty armed. Dukkham is hard, difficult. Aptum, to attain. Ayogatah, without yoga. Ayogatah, actually it is. Ayog, without yoga. Yoga yuktah, yoga harmonizer, one who is like established in the yoga. Whenever he talks about just yoga, always think of karma yoga over here. Munihi is muni, and muni ka actually the contemplator. Mananshil ko muni bolte hain. Jo, who does contemplation is muni. Brahma to Brahman, meaning self-realization and all that. That's in that context. No chiren, without delay, quickly. This word has come many times, means soon enough, kind of, okay? Without delay, bola yahan pe quick. Adhigacchati goes, means he goes to that state of Brahman in no time. So what is Bhagwan saying over here? He's going to explain that how directly to go to sannyas is very difficult, and we had touched upon it last time. And to directly drop everything and gain the knowledge, it's not possible for many. Okay, so there's a lot of difficulty, and I'd given an example that, hey, why do I have to go through high school and undergrad? Why don't I go for PhD? Yeah, somebody can do it, but they'll have to face a lot of difficulty. They'll have to learn all the things that other people have learned. They have to learn quickly and all that. And then, who knows, they may not be able to do it. So, and then why we have a lot of difficulty? So there is a little reason behind it, because like I mentioned, that we are full of desires and ambition, and we cannot sit quietly in meditation that quickly. So, and we cannot focus our attention on this self-inquiry because mind keeps going out. And this path they're talking about is in getting the mind in, being inward. And so what the Dilliwale Swami gave an example, it's like a little child is there and he wants to watch some cartoon so badly, and the mom is saying, do arithmetic now. So he's got, if his desire is very strong to watch, he's not going to be able to focus. It's a very crude example, but it fits over here. So it's like, if I'm full of desires and all, my mind will go outward. That's why sometimes when we sit in meditation, हमारी टीचर बोलती थी to do list सामने आ जाती है, मुझे ये करना है, ये करना है, ये करना, because of this. So there is a scientific reason behind it. And whenever there is an intense craving and desire and all, that's when we don't focus. And then another point, he said that these days there are so many distractions outside. And he said that even workplace में भी काम करने बैठो ना तो breaks चाहिए. Every 2 hours, coffee break, tea break, or I have to walk around, I have to do this, whatever. It's just like attention span is very short. And for this knowledge, you have to have a more concentrated mind and attention and all that. So these are some scientific reason, and then he's saying that even to listen to a pravachan, you need to have attention because the subject is so subtle. So if you are doing other stuff and all that, you won't be able to focus on it. And there is a very famous story he gave, and most of you, I think, know that story of Sati, and Sati is a Purva Janam of Parvati. She used to be called Sati, and she was a wife of Shiva. And Bhagwan Shiv is telling her about Atma Gyan, और उसका ध्यान है आसमान पे क्योंकि वहां पर है ना प्लेन्स जा रहे थे, तो वो बार बार पूछती है ये कौन जा रहा है, पर फिर उसको पता चलता है कि उसके पेरेंट्स के घर जा रहे थे वो. So she wants to go and attend that party. And here Bhagwan Shiv is giving her. So finally she leaves. He didn't want her to go, but she leaves. I thought that was a good story because everybody knows this story. So ये होता है कि जब mind focus नहीं होता है तो मैं ये भी कर लूँ वो भी कर लूँ, that kind of thing. And then the other point is that sannyas doesn't mean wearing a certain clothes on and all that. Sannyas is more like a, like Shankaracharya ji gave it, Jnana Lakshana, meaning following the path of knowledge, renouncing all the, things which are low. That's what giving up all those. Ultimately renouncing sense of doership. That's the main meaning of sannyas, and, ego and all that. So, and we have to kind of weaken our ego. How do we do that? By reducing, mamatva is like possessiveness, myness, ye mera hai, me and mine kind of thing, that kind of thing. That is achieved by karma yoga. When you loosen that thing. So, like how the Swami was saying that how karma yoga is a very beautiful sadhana when we perform action dedicated to the higher, without attachment to the result. So there are two main points, besides the other things and all that, of course, that you dedicate to the higher and, don't get attached to the result. And the other way of looking at it is make the action itself your fulfillment. That my duty is the one main focus and result is more like a bonus. Or wo bhi kaisa bonus? Gift from God. So gift can be worldly sense में, it can look negative, but you have to believe that whatever happens for the good. So even if something is, as long as I'm having my inward blossoming, that's what counts in that path, not the worldly success that we call success. So if you live this way, then your mamatva or myness and me and mine become less, ahankar becomes weak, and it becomes easier to follow the path of knowledge. Because here he's talking about how if you don't do all this, it's very, very difficult. So, yoga yukta karke ek hai yahan par word, one who is established in that karma yoga attitude. Because ye word hai na, do isme bhi aayega or next verse mein bhi aayega. So then we should know exactly what it means. Yogi Yukta is one who lived the life of Karma Yogi. And then there's another word he added over here, Muni. Why did he add a Muni? Because the person who does the Karma Yoga, he is also contemplative person. Ye nahi ki main aime hi karta chala ja raha hai, not like that. He is actually thoughtful, who's asking questions. Hey, not blindly doing. He's a thinker. He's a, who am I? Who is performing action? And, what does dedication mean? What does samatva mean? What does asanga mean? All that, and also contemplation upon the Bhagwan. So that's why here this is very important, because each word in Bhagavad Gita has tremendous meaning. And we have to know why did he add that word muni. Even that has a significance, because you have to be contemplative person. And then that person, Munir Brahma bola na, so he's talking Brahma yahan par hoga, same like I said, Brahman reaching that state. So then last part is, if you do all these things that he talked about, be contemplative and be established in karma yoga and all that, you will automatically become free of attachments. And example he gave was, it's like a ripe fruit falling, like सहज में, not force करके, oh my God, I gotta do this. वो नहीं होता है, अपने को लगता है कि होता है, कि वैसे नहीं होता है, वो सहज में होना चाहिए. So then the detachment happens like a ripe fruit just falls off, so अपने आप छूट जाता है, those kind of thing. And then we gain vairagya, and our mind becomes calm and peaceful. Our cravings become less, and we just feel this unconditional joy in our heart, and we feel peaceful. And all this is like what you call result of the karma yoga, all these things. Okay. And just looking at it again scientifically a little bit, that the opposite of it is, if I'm constantly running after desires outside, I will not be calm. जब हम लोग की to-do list बहुत लंबी होती है, we already know we are not very calm, because then सारा time वही चलता है, ये करना है, वो करना है, वो करना है. So that is the opposite side of this. Okay. And he would just, the Swami was just saying that the outside world is never going to make us calm. Very demanding, and a lot of attraction. Ye bhi karna hai, wo bhi karna hai. So he was just mentioning that we have discussed it. In olden days, like kind of the way of life was such. A lot of them did not read a lot of shastras and all that, but they led a very simple life, and certain values were imbibed in them, and they were just like happy people. किसी का भी कुछ अच्छा देखा तो खुश होते थे, अपना बच्चे का देखा तो भी, नेबर का देखा तो भी बहुत खुश होते थे. Like the jealousy and all those things were not so much there. And so this karma yoga, it's a simple path if you look at it that way. And lot of people have achieved very high heights just by that. And then that story that we talk about, that Anilji had also heard, that Kaushika story, Dharmavyadka exactly tells you that, So the conclusion is that whoever is endowed with this karma yoga spirit, that person will automatically go into sannyas, and he will automatically develop the thirst for knowledge, and all these questions will come to him: who am I, and all that, and who is Ishwar, but basically what happens is that we lead a very wasteful life, wasting time on little things and occupying ourselves with useless stuff. All that will become less. And so Bhagwan Krishna's advice to Arjuna is, follow this path of karma yoga. That is good for you, and that will lead you from the sense of doership of freedom from the doership that you have, or ahankar that you have, and you will pay more attention to knowledge, and then you will realize the truth. Okay? So that's what this verse is telling you. Any question or comment? Everybody okay with it? Okay, who would like to read? Anilji, you can read.
All right. But renunciation, O mighty armed, is hard to attain without yoga. The yoga harmonized man of study, contemplation quickly goes to Brahman. The Lord, with all the emphasis at his command, is declaring once and for all the final conclusions that were arrived at by the immortal sages of yore regarding the place of right action in self rediscovery. Without performance of action, the renunciation of action is impossible. Without having a thing, we cannot renounce it. To renounce life and the world, because one has sadly been thwarted in one's hopes and ambitions, is not renunciation.
So ये जो लास्ट सेंटेंस है ना, दिस इज लाइक वो हमने वो बोला था ना कि जब लोग एकदम kind of परेशान हो जाते हैं दुनिया से, तो बोलते हैं छोड़ छाड़ के भागेंगे. That's not renunciation, he's saying. So he's saying that if we have full of desires, this, that, the only way we can move forward is when we do action in the right way first. हम लोग ऐसे ही नहीं भाग सकते. That's the main thing, because like we were saying now, maybe if I sit in meditation, all my vasana will get dissolved and this and that. Krishna Bhagavan is saying, until you fix your actions first, is not going to. No matter how much we believe in it. And this is Krishna Bhagavan saying. I'm not saying it. I'm just bringing what Krishna Bhagavan is saying, what I learned from the teacher, because everybody wants to, go to the high jump. Like, hey, I want to do fast. And he's saying it's not going to happen, Or he doesn't even say it's not going to happen. He said that it's very difficult. He did not put a seal and say it cannot happen. He's just telling it's very difficult. Why you want to do that? That's all. And then the other point is that Karma Yoga has two benefits. One is the world prospers too. सभी लोग अगर मुनि बन के बैठ गए गुफा में तो दुनिया कौन चलाएगा? So there are benefit both ways, internal flowering and prosperity outside.
Everything.
Sorry.
Gita,
Meena,
sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, but it's true for Arjun, that was the right thing, as you mentioned. In order to purify, he had to do karma yoga. He couldn't get away. He was trying to get away from it, right? Mm-hmm. So that's the point. I mean, at that time, Arjun needed that.
Well, when you said that time, Arjun's personality was Rajasic, which is like our personality right now.
Right. And at that time, he needed, because he needed to get away from the,
But the beauty of Karma Yoga, what he's mentioning is that you don't have to ever leave the world and you can still get Jivan Mukta, right? If that is what is calling, if your life is that, hey, you have to do this task while doing the task. And that's why he gave the example of Raja Janak and other people. There are some people who are born Vairagis, like sometimes when you have YouTube and you watch certain program, then they give you some suggestion. Hey, look at this. So it was 5-minute video and all. Sometime I watch. And this guy was interviewing all these Kumbh Mela में ना ये young सन्यासीस थे, वो लोग ये नागा साधु वगैरह बन जाते हैं. तो वो लोग, तुम्हारी उम्र क्या है जी? 18 साल थी उसकी उम्र. एंड वो बिल्कुल साधु बन के बैठा हुआ था. तो he said, तुम कब से साधु हो? तो कहते हैं मैं तो बचपन से ऐसा हूँ. वो भाग गया, घर भाग छोड़ के. There are people who are like totally sannyasi from the childhood, but they are a very small number. For them that path is okay, but he's addressing the majority.
Yeah,
he's addressing all of us, we are the Arjun type of people, whether we like it or not.
Right, he's in that situation. Arjun is in that situation. He was trying to run away, so therefore he's reminding him, he's reminding us all as well.
Yes.
True, very true.
In this sense, the polishing of the mind is a process very similar to that of which we clean the metalware by using metal polish. The item that is darkened by time is purified by applying some polishing chemical on its surface. The polish is the solvent of the oxide that is covering the brilliance of the vessel. After a time, when we remove the coating of the polish, we find that not only is the chemical polish removed, but the black oxide also is removed, thereby leaving the vessel bright and attractive.
So read one more paragraph because it explains the why he gave that example, and then we will discuss it.
Similarly, the mind can be purified only by the process of treating it with right action. When thus treated, the mind gets purified from its vasana blemishes, and with such a purified mind alone can we, during the deeper meditation hours, come to renounce all activities. Before this preparation, if we try to renounce activities, we may remain physically inactive, but mentally very active. Extrovertedness of the mind is not conducive to the inner polishing. In fact, extrovertedness.
And Mark's asking though.
Oh, wait, let me mute that. Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
In fact, extrovertedness is the very mud that sullies the godly beauty and strength of the mind.
So you see why he gave that example of the metal polish. And अपने एक हिंदी में भी कहावत है, लोहा लोहे को काटता है, या कांटे से कांटा निकाला जाता है, और समझो, और या हीरा हीरे को काटता है. वो हीरे को काटने के लिए वो उनका जो होता है ना इंस्ट्रूमेंट, उसमें भी हीरा ही लगा होता है, उसी से कट. So he's saying that if you are doing actions with all these negative things in it, the only way you can fix that is with positive action. Otherwise, it's not going to go away. And then he gave the example of that polish, that you either metal को अगर ऑक्साइड चढ़ जाता है तो वो पॉलिश लगाते हैं, तो वो पॉलिश के साथ साथ वो भी धुल जाता है, right? Both the things come out. So when you do the right action, that's when all the negativity goes away. And the purer the mind, the better, knowledge. And then another very big danger is that with impure mind, if you keep approaching the knowledge will be impure. So that's another very, very important thing, that comprehensive power to understand it correctly. We have to have, purer mind, better knowledge will dawn upon us.
This is the greatest discovery that the Hindu masters made in the ancient days in the technique of self-development and self-growth. This mental purity and meditative power cannot be gained without performance of right action with the right mental attitude. Shri Krishna gives a positive assurance here that such a conducive mental quality can be created by right actions undertaken by the seekers.
So again, it's a path of, karma yoga Krishna Bhagavan talked about. That's why Bhagavad Gita is like, it tells you the goal and it tells you the path. So this is the path he recommends. And Yoga Yukta now. What is Yoga Yukta?
Yoga Yukta, one who is self-established in the path of selfless and unattached activities, soon develops the qualities of poise and single-pointedness of mind. Karma fulfills itself in making the yogi fit for continuous and fruitful meditation. When such an individual who has practiced the path of karma diligently, either through the renunciation of his sense of agency or through detachment from all his over-anxious preoccupations with the fruits of actions, such a meditator, Muni, soon attains the supreme experience of the self in himself.
So he's just pointing out the two things. Either you can focus on giving up the fruits of action, or you can focus on giving up the sense of agency. But he had mentioned earlier that giving up sense of agency is more difficult. So best is start giving up the fruit of action, and then the other thing will follow.
No definite time limit can be fixed for declaring when exactly the supreme experience will come to a meditator. The indecision regarding the time element in this promise of certainty is very well brought out by the term used, nakirna.
No chirena.
Nachirena.
Nachirena from the verse it's telling you, huh?
Nachirena. Not long afterwards, meaning irrelong.
Means, soon enough. उसने कोई fixed time नहीं दिया है. Because we are studying in Kathopanishad that you choose that Atma will choose you. But when you are completely ready, that Atma will decide, So
And
that's
it
why
will definitely come. It will definitely.
yes.
Yeah.
It's something like this, Anilji. If I want to go on a certain goal, if I'm walking in the right direction, तो वो उसकी कहानी है ना कछुए की और वो रैबिट की. कछुआ भी पहुंच जाएगा वहां पे. इनफैक्ट रैबिट सोचेगा मुझे जल्दी जल्दी जाना है तो उसमें गड़बड़ हो जाएगा. So let's become that kachua only. Keep going.
One thing that really helped me
Huh.
about the desires, because earlier we discussed desires come as robbers,
Yes.
and actually they present themselves as friendly suggestion. But if you look at them as robbers, then very quickly you push them away.
Yeah, they are gonna loot me.
Yeah.
मेरा चैन छीन लेंगे.
Yeah, उस पे लेबल लगा दो अशांति.
Yes, true. Very nice. Yeah.
With this knowledge in mind, when we read this stanza, it becomes very clear why earlier, Gita 5.2, the Lord, in his opening verse in this discourse, insisted that for Arjun, performance of action is superior to the renunciation of action.
So now he all different, what should I say, logics he gave, So different things, and now you know why he told him that, hey, for you this is, because now then in next 4 or 5 verses he opened it up. Why it is important to do that.
But isn't it also true that the path you take is also based on your vasanas from previous lives?
Yes, of course. And that's why, when we say we are, वो राजसिक तामसिक जब होता है तो हम लोग का previous life से तो आया है वो जो एक mixture हमें मिला है. So the main thing about what Bhagavad Gita's point is, no matter what vasana लेके हम लोग जन्मे हैं, there is a way.
Yes.
That is the most powerful thing. It's not even saying to you that, oh, you have to take many janmas and because it is going to take. No, it's saying, hey, I'm telling you the path. You may be, totally tamasic and rajasic. Start from here and you can reach it in this life. I think that's a tremendous declaration by Lord Krishna, that each one of us has been given a chance, no matter who we are, where we are born, and all that. Nothing matters.
And every time you are reborn, that life itself gives you the chance to clear all your vasanas.
Yes.
One lifetime.
Yes. You can do it. Every lifetime is an opportunity to exit.
Right.
Whether we take it or not, या तो फिर हम लोग बोला ना कि we can increase our vasanas. Because अगर समझो decrease किया तो फिर वो chapter 6 में आएगा that फिर बहुत 1-2 ही life बचेगी फिर. Because you will be born in a situation that you will quickly go on that path, So either way, it's a win-win situation if you walk on this path, That's what it is. But the other side of it is like, the saints and sages explain that human life is like a place, it's like a middle path. Middle landing होती है ना, एक stairs होती है, ऊपर जा सकते हैं, नीचे जा सकते हैं. So either you can devolve and pile up more and more vasana and increase to so many numbers of life, or you can go up. So we are at a very crucial stage of our evolution. That's what it is. Okay, any comment, question, or somebody want to add a point? Everybody understood this whole thing, what Krishna Bhagwan is trying to say? Like the Delhi wale Swami bol rahe the, Krishna Bhagwan is very clear in what he wants to say. We are the one, we read it and make a mess of it. His message is very clear to Arjun.
Like Arjun, all of us are looking for the cowardly way to get out.
Yeah, cowardly बोल दो या quick बोल दो या over ambitious and all that.
Easier, yeah.
Easy. Human nature होता है ना, जल्दी से मिल जाए बस. अभी वो मतलब even youth कोई ये होता है कि मेरे को बस ऐसा काम मिले, मैं काम कम करूं और मुझे सैलरी बहुत बड़ी बड़ी मिले. You know, so that's exactly what it is. But अगर सोचा जाए तो जब one who really enjoys his work, he doesn't even care about the salary. Salary comes as a side benefit to him. You know, if somebody is really enjoying their work, they don't care. कोई उसको salary नहीं देगा तो भी वही काम करेगा, वो free में भी करता जाएगा. You know, so there's a lot of psychology behind this, really. Okay, so if nobody has any comment, question anymore, then we can go to the next one. We are finishing up fast now. Okay, so the verse 7 is it's kind of telling you the process a little more. You know, kya hota hai, how do we get there and all that, and it's just reinforcing same thing. You know, Bhagavad Gita is like we talked about it. Mainly जो उनको बोलना था उन्होंने बोल दिया, but literally like एक capsule form में दिया उन्होंने. अभी उसको open up हो रहा है सारा everything, and it's a repetition of lot of same thing, but then he gives another angle, tells you different ways and all that, because we don't get it in first shot, you know. So let's see, we can go to the verse 7. Yoga yukto vishuddhatma vijitatma jitendriyah sarva bhutatma bhutatma kurvannapi na lipyate. Yoga yuktaha. Now you remember the same word was in the previous. What is it? Devoted to the path of action, established in the path of action. You know, that is his primary thing. That's yoga yukta. Vishuddhatma. Everybody knows the word shuddha. You know, a man of purified mind. संस्कृत में ना जब वी आगे लगता है तो मीन्स स्पेशल और एक्स्ट्रा उसमें एम्फेसिस होता है. तो अगर शुद्ध बोला तो शुद्ध, विशुद्ध बोला तो बहुत शुद्ध kind of thing. Man purified mind is Vishuddhatma. Vijitatma is one who's conquered the self. And Dilli Wale Swami said in this particular verse, the context is more on like जिसने अपने बॉडी को के कर्मेंद्रियों को कॉन्कर कर लिया हो, वो कर्मेंद्रिय जिनकी कंट्रोल में, both are good because you know it has multi meaning sometimes the words, and each one gives you a insight into the thing. And then Jitendriya is one who has subdued the senses, जो इंद्रियों को जीत चुका है. That's the word जितेंद्र का मतलब है, you know. और यहाँ पर subdued वही है कि भाई उसके कंट्रोल में है इंद्रियां. Sarvabhutatma Bhutatma. This is very important one. One who realizes the self as the self in all beings. That is a final goal actually. Like if you see from the consciousness perspective, that you know, the consciousness, I am that consciousness, and the entire universe is the same. Seeing that oneness, that's what is this word. Sarva Bhutatma Bhutatma. Kurvan is acting, api is even, na is not, lipyate is tainted. लिप्यते मतलब इन्वॉल्व होना, अटैचमेंट होना को लिप्य बोलते हैं एक्चुअली. बिकॉज समटाइम्स यू नो द वर्ड्स आर वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू ट्रांसलेट इन इंग्लिश, यू नो. सो समथिंग टू डू विद अटैचमेंट, कि उसको किसी से अटैचमेंट नहीं होता, यू नो. You know, it's like our own body and its different organs, they're just doing their work for the entire body. You know, whether they are given, क्या बोलते हैं, उनको कोई अवार्ड नहीं देता है और कुछ गलत होता है तो कोई पनिशमेंट नहीं देता है. You know, कि अगर समझो one organ in our body doesn't function properly, हम उसको काट के फेंक तो नहीं देते हैं ना. So it's like it keeps doing its work to the best of its ability for the whole body. So that's why the question of attachment doesn't come there. You know, that's what it is. So let's see. Let's open up more of this. All this. So yoga yukta, everybody knows what it is. That you know, the one who is totally tuned with the spirit of karma yoga. That is the person who automatically reaches the state of sannyas. That's what we learn. And sannyas means mainly क्या है? You know, freedom from attachment is sannyas. So the clothes are not important, but the freedom from attachment, that's the person who gains the vairagya. And what is the phal of vairagya? That's what he's talking about in this verse, Jada. So vairagya se kya? Firstly, there is one point that the Swamis make, and that is like, जो वैरागी होता है ना, वो ही ट्रू सेंस में वर्ल्ड को एंजॉय करता है. अगर हमको फ्रूट का एक्शन होएगा ना, या every time I'm attached to certain things, and I'll never enjoy because I'll be always worried what the other person is thinking. Am I performing it correct? But a person who is totally free, उसके सामने जो कुछ भी आता है, he just enjoys everything in this world. True enjoyment comes with vairagya. That's what the point is. And then so in that kind of line of thinking, that Dilli Wale Swami was saying that vairagya doesn't mean that the person sab chhod chhad ke miserably baitha hua hai or something like that. He has got inner peace and quietude. So outer prosperity is there because of the karma yoga, and so world is prosper, and then inside he is happy. That's the beautiful state of this thing. So such a yog-yukta person, he becomes vishuddhatma. That means his mind becomes pure. यहाँ पर विशुद्धात्मा mainly mind को बताया, pure mind के बारे में बताया. And then he was explaining that if you want to analyze a little bit of mind, what is mind? So mind is a flow of thought. So just compare it to a river. River means a moving thing, right? अगर कोई तालाब को हम river नहीं बोलेंगे, अगर पानी सूख गया उसको भी नहीं river means पानी flow हो रहा है. So जब mind में thoughts flow होते हैं ना, उसको mind बोलते हैं. And that's why no mind means no thoughts. So mind only starts when the thoughts are flowing. So now go back to the analogy of river. रिवर में रिवर कैसी है वो किस पे डिपेंड करता है? पानी पे डिपेंड करता है, उसकी फ्लो पे, उसकी क्वालिटी ऑफ वाटर. जब हम बोलते हैं गंगा का पानी पवित्र है, क्योंकि गंगा पवित्र है, जब हम बोलते हैं ना गंगा पवित्र, उसका पानी पवित्र है, राइट? तो पानी के ऊपर डिपेंड करता है. तो यहाँ पर हमारे थॉट्स के ऊपर हमारा मन डिपेंड करता है. तो अगर थॉट्स तामसिक हो तो देन हमारा मन तामसिक है. तो फिर थॉट्स कैसे होंगे? अगर कौन से टाइप के थॉट्स है तामसिक? I mean, it's going to come in detail, I think in chapter 13, I believe. No, 14. The 3 gunas and all that. So, tamasic are like laziness, attachment, anger, sadness, depression, delusion. ये सब tamasic type के thoughts में जाते हैं. Okay, when you have all this in your mind. Rajasic में क्या जाता है? Lots of desire. Cravings, ambition, pride, anger, jealousy. Because desire, craving और ambition से pride, anger, jealousy आता है. It's like a भाई बहन है. But they are all bunched together for rajasic thoughts. सात्विक में क्या आता है? Knowledge, wisdom, joy, peace, faith, kindness, friendship, forgiveness, all these goody stuff comes in the sattvic. So जैसा mind होएगा ना वैसा मन होता है. तो what happens with karma yoga is mind become more sattvic. All those other tamasic and rajasic things starts coming less and less, and sattvikta. And with sattvic, mind only prasannata comes. When we say somebody is peaceful or happy, that means their mind is sattvic. That's an outer expression of it, of your sattvic mind is happiness and all that. And then that person, he's free from attachment. He doesn't have strong likes and dislikes. And if somebody doesn't have these kind of strong likes and dislikes and all that, you can look at both ways. I'm saying that उसका अपने आप ही मन peaceful होगा, जिसके पास ये नहीं होगा. तो it's like it's a circle. They both kind of feed each other. So this Swamiji gave a very interesting example, the Dilli Wale Swami. He said कि कर्म योगा से ना ये बड़ा स्मूथली मिलता है हमको, नेचुरल वे में मिलता है करते जाओ. एंड ही सेइंग आर्टिफिशियल होता है ना, बोलते वो जापानीज बॉन्जॉय होता है ना, बॉन्जॉय. ही वाज गिविंग द एग्जांपल, उसका वो लोग आर्टिफिशियल ढंग से उसको कंट्रोल करते हैं. उसका रूट कुछ, आई डोंट इवन नो द प्रोसेस. ही वाज जस्ट एक्सप्लेनिंग कि उसका रूट वो लोग पहले तो उखाड़ेंगे उसको, छोटा सा होएगा तो फिर उसकी रूट को बांध देते हैं एंड ऑल दैट, फिर वो बौना बन जाता है, ये वो. नो, दैट्स नॉट रियल ब्यूटी. इज व्हेन द ट्री goes naturally. So then naturally we should go to become pure. And then the other words, let's look. The Vishuddhatma was something to do with mind. Vijitatma. So here Delhi wale Swami ji ne bola ki look at it as, control over the movements of the body, karmendriya. Usne jeet liya apne zindagi ko. The one who like is not a slave of his karmendriya. And Jitendriya is next. That we already know the meaning of Jitendriya, control over the senses. So basically, again, it's like a circle that if you have a peaceful mind, automatically the senses are under control. They are not agitated.
He's put a capital S in there. One who has conquered the self.
Right. That's what I'm saying that here.
Vijitatma.
Because Chinmayanand ji ne dono meaning is fine. He's just going little bit by the logic कि भाई body को control किया हुआ है, mind को control किया हुआ है, senses को control किया हुआ है. But here Swamiji has said one who has, one who has conquered the self.
The self. And the self, so to me it was like, okay, conquered the self would be that you realized or what? Because it's a capital S, and that's why I was asking.
Yeah, he has taken that meaning. You can take both the meanings.
Okay.
I found